Hello and welcome to our show, Film Talk with AJ Dean. I'm AJ Dean, your host, and I have the impeccable and incredible and wonderful co-host with me and actor who is in the trusted with Nicolas Cage, Paul Vato. Hey, Paul.
Howdy, you scared me. I thought you'd replace me. You were saying so many great things about I thought it was a new host, but thank you for having me. Happy New Year. I'm still wishing people a Happy New Year. And yeah, thank you so much. I'm very excited about today's episode. So thank you, AJ, for allowing me to be a part of this.
Oh, Paul, you are a blessing and a treasure. You know, we've got an incredible show. First of all, I want to say happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary. This is our 1-year anniversary with Film Talk with AJ Dean podcast show, the film and TV professional podcast show. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Paul, for 1 year. Congratulations.
Thank you, AJ. Thank you for that. And congratulations to you. Of course, without you, this wouldn't exist. And thank you for making me a part of it. I can't believe it's been a year. I remember saying yes, and then just all of a sudden it's a year later, and we've interviewed so many amazing guests, and there have been so many highlights, today being no exception. So I'm absolutely looking forward to today's episode and to a wonderful and prosperous 2023.
Thank you, Paul. Very beautifully said. And with that, I'm going to say our special VIP guest is Shaun Rylee. She's absolutely gorgeous and beautiful. She's an award-winning actress. She's also a screenwriter and an executive producer. Let's give her a very genuine and heartfelt warm welcome. Hey, Shaun. So happy you're with us. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
We are wonderful. And we're so ecstatic that you're here on our anniversary show. This is very, very special. I dressed up. You look gorgeous. How is it there in Las Vegas?
Cold. I have my turtleneck on for this occasion because it's a lot colder than I prefer.
Well, you look divine. Doesn't she, Paul?
Well, I must be in a different location, because for me, I'm wearing shorts. Then again, I'm originally from the Chicagoland area. So for me, I'll walk over to my hot tub, which is a community. I'm in a condo association. So there's a hot tub, and I might even go after we're done recording. But I get it. No, it is a little cold, but it's amazing that it's not like back home where it's freezing and my poor mother and brother are in sub-zero temperatures and it's snowing, or it's been raining over there. But same, we've also had some rain here and it's been pretty chilly, but I am wearing my swim trunks and ready. So, but wow. It's cold.
Wow. Well, thank you, Paul, for hanging in there. And Shaun, thank you for also hanging in there with that freezing cold weather in Las Vegas, Nevada. So I just want to jump right into it because we've got a lot of fun things to talk about and ask you. Let's look at these great movie posters first off. We've got Question Everything and You Don't Deserve This. Now look at the phenomenal awards that Shaun has won. Congratulations, Shaun. Tell us about these wonderful films.
Thank you. I actually just updated the You Don't Deserve This poster today because we had a couple more wins, which is amazing. I'm so proud of both of these projects because they were kind of things that we accomplished during the pandemic when we couldn't really work with large crews and things like that, and we wanted to still be creative. So I worked with people that I knew, and we put together these beautiful projects, and they're doing phenomenal on the festival circuit. So I couldn't be more proud.
Wonderful. Now, did you write and direct both of them? Did you star in them? Tell us about Question Everything. What is that about? It's a beautiful picture.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I actually wrote, directed, and co-starred in both of them, and produced both of them. So I kind of took on lots of duties. But for Question Everything, I worked with one of my trusted friends, Scott Ingrati, who's a co-producer of mine. And I've known him probably like 11 years, I believe. And he brought the phenomenal Jason, my co-star, on board, as well as the super talented Stefano, our DP. And we decided to film in the middle of the desert in Southern California, near Death Valley. And it was 117 degrees when we filmed. So we were having some challenging circumstances around that film, but it all came together because everybody was like, no, we're doing this. Everybody is fully committed. And yeah, it's just a beautiful story about lucid dreaming and what if you had the ability to lucid dream tandemly with another person. So you're having the same dream at the same time and trying to change the events in order to make it a more favorable outcome.
I love that. It's a little bit on the edge of sci-fi. Is that right? Sci-fi fantasy?
Yeah, it's kind of avant-garde, experimental, postmodern. I guess it would fit probably best within there. But I mean, you know, now that you throw out sci-fi, it could be that too.
Yes. What do you think, Paul? I mean, we all have dreams, right, Paul?
Yeah, and when I have these very lucid dreams, it is. That's so funny. This would come up because I've thought that before. Like, I wonder if anyone else is having the same dream because it's so real, and maybe you'll reach out to that person, and they won't say anything. You're like, all right, so that didn't happen, but it is amazing. I'm so curious and would love to see some of your work. It's amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we actually, I had a conversation with an actor friend of mine at the time when I wrote it, and we actually tried to both lucid dream the same thing that night to see if it would work. Kind of did. It was a fun experiment, but hey, maybe in the future we can master that.
100%. Yeah, very, very
amazing.
well done.
That is amazing. You know, Paul and Shaun, you know, dreams, they can be prophetic, they can be premonitions, they can be therapy for us to work through. And so this is fascinating. I want to tie in a little bit because you have an advanced degree in psychology, not only in film and TV. Wow, I'm just so proud and impressed with your education, Shaun. So was that part of the social desire for you to test the psyche, if you will, of dreams and what they mean?
Yes, absolutely. Because I've had, you know, very vivid dreams since I was very young, and I've learned to master lucid dreaming. Sometimes it comes and goes. You know, you kind of have certain methods that go into being able to do it when you'd like to be able to do it. And yeah, it's something that I was always interested in, and I wanted to combine my interest in both film and psychology and tell really important, unique stories. So that was the goal with my filmmaking, was to, you know, combine both of those passions and see what kinds of crazy, unique stories came out of that.
Beautiful. And I would be interested in seeing this too. Where can we watch it?
I can send you the link. I think Question Everything is actually showing right now through the Octopus Marquee Film Festival. It already passed, but they're still showing the films through January. But yeah, I can link you to both of these since they're both still on the film festival circuit.
Oh my gosh, what a treat. What do you think, Paul? Isn't that great?
Amazing. Yeah, I would definitely love a link to that because it's something that really speaks to me. So yeah, I would love to see that.
I love
Sure
that.
thing.
I love this so much. I'm so excited. I can't wait to get it. And also, you don't deserve this. It looks like, is this a romantic film at all, Shaun? Tell us about that.
Yeah, it is. It's more of a painful romantic film, if you will. So it's kind of the antithesis to what we think love should be. And it's about miscommunication and not getting full closure when a relationship ends, or a friendship, if you will, either way. And so I kind of just incorporated, again, my psychology background with my screenwriting and produced this story, which is actually, it's very beautiful. As painful as the story itself is, it's a beautiful thing at the same time.
Wonderful. And I noticed that you chose black and white, which is so striking for your poster. You know, it evokes emotion, and it's also very beautiful as well. So we've all had relationships. We can all relate to this film that you have produced, written, and direct. And did you star in it?
I did. Yep, that's me on the poster.
So, such a gorgeous picture. I was going to say, who is that beautiful blonde? That's our Shaun Rylee right here, right, Paul?
Yeah, it certainly is. Wonderful. Yeah, great photo too.
Thank you. Yeah, I had two DPs working with me on that that were actually not experienced in the film industry, but they're great still photographers and content creators on social media. And I was like, you can do this. You know, I'll direct you through it. Is fine. And they did a great job. They were great team players in putting my crazy visions together. And this is the result from one of the still photographers that worked as a DP.
Super. Now, is this also in the film festival circuit currently, Shaun? How can people view it?
It is. This is the newest film. So we're just getting started and doing a very well, I guess, on the festival circuit. But yeah, so right now it's still under wraps with the festival circuit, but I'm thinking of ways that I'm going to put out, both of these films, because Question Everything should be retiring very, very soon. It still has a few festivals that it's going through annually, but yeah.
I do have one question about the desert. Did you encounter any critters like scorpions or snakes?
Not a single one. The only thing we encountered was when we filmed You Don't Deserve This, a very creepy baby doll in a deep hole that we found outside of Boulder City. I remember posting up in my Instagram stories a little video when we found it. It was just the most random thing, but that's the only critter we encountered. And then maybe some drones as well.
That's amazing. Yeah, drones have become more popular with filming. So were they broken drones that had just been left out there?
No, people were actively trying to spy on our filming. When we filmed You Don't Deserve This, we heard what we thought was a swarm of bees at one point, which we did actually encounter. So I guess there's a critter right there. But yeah, a bunch of drones just flying over our set.
Oh my gosh, amazing. Now, Paul, have you ever had anybody spy on you when you have been on location?
I don't think so. I'm trying to think of, has there ever been anything? And I don't think so, because it's either been on a closed set like Ted with on Seth MacFarlane's new TV show, or when I did The Trust, that was outside, but it was at the Riviera in Vegas. So when it was still, I think we were one of the last films to film there. But I don't think people were prepared enough to do that, or that, with security, the drone would have probably gotten shot down. But that's very interesting that people would want to spy or possibly ruin a take with drones.
Could have employed them to do behind the scenes had I known who was flying them.
yeah. Give them a job and hire them, and there you go. Why not?
Absolutely.
100%, Paul. Paul, did you have any questions right now before I dive into Mob City and Transcendence with Johnny Depp?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm curious to see if you've done more things. You mentioned Boulder City, but have you done anything here in Vegas in the past, or in the recent past? Because it turns out we're actually very close and we're neighbors here in Vegas, and I'd love to be more involved in the film community here, without, besides getting hired to do a TV show or a commercial. But is there a community here that you've been working with, or have you done projects here in Las Vegas?
Yeah, a little of both. I kind of have been testing out different circles in the Las Vegas film community the last few years that I've been here, because today is my Vegas-versary. So, I've been kind of finding people that I mesh with creatively the best. And I have a DP friend that I've made here, a director, writer friend, more writer friends, another DP friend, and just people that kind of get the same work ethic and organization as me. And that's honestly, it's a little difficult to find people that have, more extensive experience here. It's a very young film community, a lot of UNLV grads and things like that. So they're, working on developing their style, and we're all kind of trying to mesh our styles together and our, different work styles as well. But yeah, I filmed a year ago yesterday. I filmed at Caesar's Palace with a local film crew and a director that was here from Toronto. And then I filmed on a short with UNLV grads last summer, but I haven't seen either project yet. So, but they were a lot of fun to work on and meet, different people. So yeah, there's lots of things going on here, lots of different pockets of filmmakers.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, I hope that you and I get to work together sometime soon. And please, I'm available, and I'm within walking distance.
That's
So let
right.
me know
We're
if there's.
neighbors.
We're neighbors, so this is wonderful.
Amazing. Yeah, for sure.
I love this so much. This is what it's all about for me. I get such great joy meeting you, Shaun, and having you, Paul, here each week. And we get to meet wonderful people. They're just beautiful hearts. And it makes my life so enriched and joyful. So I'm truly, truly blessed. So thank you.
No,
Wonderful.
thank you. You've probably met lots of film people in this community by doing this podcast, I imagine.
Yes, yes, and I love supporting them because they're all special VIPs to me and Paul, and we love them, don't we, Paul?
Oh, 100%. I mean, I've just recently was speaking to, is it Jason? Is it Quarter? Is that just with different people that we've interviewed, but then other projects come out of it. So it's amazing. After a full year, and I don't think I missed many episodes. Just the variety of people that we've connected with that have different connections throughout the industry. It's incalculable what those connections can possibly bring. So
It's
this is amazing. Here's one more. I love it.
There's one more, and you're so right. It's we're family, we're connected, with our film family. This is what we're here for. This is what gives us the greatest joy. Speaking of greatest joy, a little bird told me, Shaun, that you had your hair, 16 inches of your hair cut off. Is this right for Mob City?
For Mad Men,
Oh, I'm
actually.
sorry, for Mad Men. Mad Men, thank you. Go ahead. Tell us
Yeah,
about that.
it's a true story. I actually, in the same 2-week period, I think it was, maybe a week, I was a body double for Marissa Tomei on a short film and also her stand-in. And I had my long hair at that time. And the funny thing is she had shorter hair. So we, some movie magic in the hair trailer. And then immediately after that, I went to the Mad Men set and they said, "Hey, are you comfortable cutting your hair?" And I have had long hair my entire life. And I had to be a team player. It was a great show. I could not pass it up. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. And then I had no idea how to style my hair after that, but 16 inches, it was like shoulder length hair. And they trimmed it every single week that I was on set.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. It was worth it though, wasn't it, Shaun? Don't you
Yeah,
think?
that experience was so invaluable. I can't even describe all of the great times and great people that I met on that set.
Yes, and you know who else was on that? Bryn Horak. She was on Mad Men as well, and we had her as a guest, didn't we, Paul?
We did, yeah, yeah. That's amazing. But man, what a loss of the hair, because I mean, it just takes such time invested, and I can't imagine then 16 inches. My goodness, that's what, a foot and a half of hair
Yeah.
gone.
Well, the amazing thing is it actually opened a lot of doors for me because I kind of became that go-to girl for shows and films that took place in that time period. So it opened a lot of doors. So I can't really complain, but it didn't really grow back as well as I hoped. It's been a long journey since.
Well, your hair looks beautiful now, Shaun. So you can be very proud of that. And you've grown it really, you've grown it out, and it's gorgeous. So there you go. So please forgive me for that. So, but let's talk about Mob City. Sorry about mixing that up. Mob City, was that before Mad Men or after?
It was after. I believe it was probably a year after I started on Mad Men. I believe it was the next year. I remember it premiered in December. And it seemed like a very odd time for a mob centric show to premiere because it was a miniseries. But I mean, there's something for everybody at the holidays now. So
Yes, fabulous, fabulous. And then you also were in Transcendence with Johnny Depp. Now, did you get to meet him? Give us a scoop. Did you see him?
I did. I've actually worked on 3 sets of Johnny Depp's. That one, I remember he greeted me every morning and said, "Good morning, how are you today?" Which was amazing because you always see these figures on screen, that you grew up with watching, and you always hope that they're nice, genuine people. And he definitely was a nice, genuine man. So yeah, it was a great experience, and I was in a shootout scene. Spoiler alert, but I was not in the crosshairs. But yeah, it was a lot of
Oh,
fun.
how fun. What fun, though, to be greeted by Johnny Depp. What do you think? Paul, what would you like? Would you like that?
Are you, are you kidding me? What a dream! What a dream to come true, to work with Johnny Depp, and then he actually knows who you are. But I've experienced that. It almost seems that the more famous or bigger, if you will, the stars, the more down to earth they are, because they understand. We're all there for the project. We're all there to serve the project, and they're not. I've had more problems with unknown actors. There were the divas, and you're like, I don't even know who you are. But then the bigger the name, the more accessible they are, and the nicer they are, and they talk to you first, because that's the thing. It's like you were almost kind of told, like, well, don't harass them, don't address them, and then they end up talking to you first. So of course you can respond. Like when we were filming inside Binion's Casino, and there was a movie called Las Vegas, and my goodness, who was there? Morgan Freeman, Kevin Kline, and Robert De Niro.
Wow.
I feel like I'm missing someone. Oh, Michael Douglas. And they were wonderful. Like Michael Douglas's assistant, not so much, but the actual star, the nicest guy. They were filming in our cigar shop, and I mean, it was just amazing to see how these guys work, and then not work, because most of them would just fall asleep when their scenes were done. but when they're working, they were amazing. And hi, how are you? Oh my goodness, like that's so interesting to watch you roll cigars. That's De Niro talking to us, and we're like, oh my god, I can't believe like he's genuinely interested. Like, what's going on? Yeah, I mean, that's been my experiences have all been wonderful, but to have somebody of Johnny Depp's caliber say hi and address you and know who you are, come on, that's a dream come true.
Yeah, I find most celebrities that have that kind of longevity in their career tend to be the nicer ones, and there's a reason that they have a career for that long. So, note to all the younger actors out there: stay nice to people.
Yes.
Pays off.
Stay
You should
nice.
always be nice, but if anything, there is this other side that you're getting, if you're getting something from it, but you should just be nice to people. So that's wonderful. Great advice.
Absolutely. I love that. I love this. And it's so true. Be nice and be humble. Stay humble, right? Because we're all human beings, number one. Speaking of human beings and being humble and being grateful, I did want to bring up a controversial question. Here we go. Recently, we have heard in the news that the film production of Rust, the movie, with Alec Baldwin, has now, there's, I believe, 2 counts of manslaughter against him and the armor lady that was responsible for that. So I wanted to ask you both your viewpoint on it, and I'll go first. Just for me, I just feel that standards need to be brought in, standards, high standards, back again, very, the professionals, that it has to be a professional from outside coming in. And also I want to send prayers and good energy. So please, if you will, join me in sending prayers and good energy to all the families included in that, because it was such a tragedy. And we just hope and pray that all things are sorted out and that there's healing there, and that eventually things can change from this, and rules and safety can change and become better. So let's go over to you, Paul, first for your viewpoint. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's we all wear many hats, and of course, safety is that's the most important thing. You must feel safe. I feel like it really starts and ends with the armorer, but it also goes to show that we as actors and as a producer, Alec Baldwin, to my understanding, was a producer or the producer of the movie, or he's one of the producers. So
yes,
one of them. So I mean, I feel that there's also responsibility there, but it also goes to show you that as an actor, you're also responsible. I mean, it may not legally be your responsibility, but if you're handed a weapon, you should know how to you don't trust anyone. Basically, is maybe what I'm trying to say. But it does ultimately fall on that armorer because they were hired to do a certain job, which they ended up failing. And you don't have guns with live ammunition lying around. And every time, even if they've just handed it to me and then I hand it back and I get it back, check it again. It's got to be clear. So you have to be, if you're going to work in that industry, and work around arms, you need to be comfortable enough to then be and knowledgeable enough to do that. Because even if you're on a gun range, it happens that way. No one just hands you a gun and you pick it up and you start pointing it or shooting. And especially in a film where you probably do have to point the gun at someone or into the camera. We're taught never to point the gun unless, you intend harm. But this is in the outside world. In the film world, yes, you're going to point it at the lens, down the barrel of the camera or at someone else. But before you do that, you should be knowledgeable enough to check it and make sure that there are no live rounds in there. So it really is the armorers at fault, but also if you're a producer, then you've got to take some of that responsibility as well. So I don't know if I answered any questions or made it more muddied, but that's kind of the way I feel.
You did wonderful, Paul. And he wasn't the only producer. There were other producers there as well. So I'm very interested in hearing about, who else, along the lines, how it goes along. I'm going to be following this. So because it's very, very important, it's about safety. So safety on the set. So Shaun, thank you for that, Paul. Shaun, over to you. What is your feeling and your viewpoint?
I've always stressed that safety is number one to everybody on my sets. And even from the screenwriting stage, I consulted some weapons experts and armorers for on-set while I was writing certain scenes, and not from either of these films that you see below, but for my feature films that are coming up. Because that was super important to me because everybody needs to feel comfortable and safe. And as far as Rust goes in particular, I actually know several people that worked on that film, on that set. So I don't want to single anybody out in that kind of regard, but yeah, it's very important that everybody knows what to do when a weapon is on set and everybody knows their responsibility in the chain of command. But just in general, I mean, I'm even disturbed with the number of the number of producers that I know who put actors pointing guns at the camera on their movie posters since that incident. That disturbs me every single time I see it, but it keeps happening. And I think that's a little bit irresponsible. Now that we know better, we do better, right?
Absolutely. And I love what you said, both of you. Shaun, I'm so sorry that for you and for your loss as well on that. I just hope that things can, things can sort out and get better and improve. And I'm with you 100%. I don't like seeing a lot of guns and stuff like that on a movie poster. There's so many more beautiful things to feature on a movie poster, such as yours right here.
Right. People.
Yeah, people, exactly.
People, landscapes.
That's what it's about, landscapes and people, right? So thank you for that. You did mention your feature films coming up. Let's jump in and talk about that. Can you share with us a little bit of inside information?
Yeah, there's two features that I wrote several years back that have been in the works, and obviously the last 2 years have been very challenging within the industry, but especially in independent films and trying to get things moving forward to production. So we're ready to roll on one of them as soon as we recoup some things that we lost during the pandemic, and then the other one will be right behind it. The first one will be filmed in LA. And that's a story that deals with mental health because, again, I have to incorporate my psychology degree, right? But I feel that you should be responsible when you tell those kinds of stories in doing your research or being educated properly on telling a story that deals with mental health. Because I know a lot of people lately are like, oh, I have this wonderful idea for a story and it involves mental health, but they don't really understand all of the things that go into putting those kinds of stories together. So that's Better is that feature. And then the second one is Volley Nocturne, and that one will film here in Las Vegas. So I'm excited to get rolling on that one too, and finally have a full production film here, because Boulder City is the closest that I filmed on my own project so far. So
fantastic. And I did see them on the website Coverfly. I did see them featured on there. So if anyone,
wow, I haven't been on there in a minute.
so if anyone's interested, how can they support you? Maybe even audition for some possible roles or anything like that? Like
yeah, we'll post auditions for the Vegas one when it comes time. We do have some roles already cast because I wrote it with specific actors in mind. And then Better is right now it's cast for the most part. We have a few key roles to cast in the leads, but we have people that we're reaching out to, so that are interested.
Okay, so are any roles there in possibly for Paul would as a character?
Hey, I mean, Las Vegas, we have a lot more characters in that film. If you like delving into kind of the seedy underbelly of big cities, that's pretty much what that film is about.
I pretty much, that's how I live my life. So I think you might be typecasting. And please, if you have anything, just please talk to my representation, AJ from AJ from AJ Management. So
AJ
thank
Dean
you.
Publicity for Paul.
AJD Publicity. Thank you. Yeah.
I just had to get that in. I care about you so much, Paul. Any chance I get, I'm going to promote you. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So
I love you. Thank you.
Product placement.
here's Vato cigars. Okay. Hand rolled.
There you go. Also available for your movie needs. Paul Vato and his cigars. Yeah.
That gave me some ideas, actually.
I would love to provide cigars for all of your movie needs, you or anyone listening. And we can even do your own private label if you wanted something that wasn't Vato, because that says Vato on there. But we could do your own private label cigars for your movie projects.
Amazing. The Vegas one, that will definitely come in handy. So I'm gonna remember that.
Yeah.
I'm smiling at the camera now.
She's like a billboard.
I'm a cigar girl. Look at me.
Beautiful.
All right. That brings me a lot of joy. That it really does. So thank you for that. And so there might be a Paul. There might be a chance. There might be a role for you, Paul. So check back with Shaun. See. Check in with her. I did want to ask one other question. Now, this is kind of a psychological question. I hope that's okay, Shaun. Here we go. But because you have a degree in psychology, you're going to wing it. You're going to win this one perfectly. What brings you peace?
Oh gosh, it's interesting that you ask that, because I find usually my surroundings are a big contributor to my sense of peace. I went to France recently, which I've been there a couple times prior. And that's one place that really brings me a lot of peace. It's somewhere where you feel like everything just works in your favor in the universe, right? And you're not worrying about your normal everyday things. So my surroundings are definitely a big contributor.
That's wonderful. Well, you have chosen a great entertainment capital of the world in Las Vegas. So there's a lot of fun things to do there as well. I did want to get a little personal here. You also are fluent in Spanish, French, and Italian. Italiano. Well, I'm part Italian, so molto bello.
Yes, I would say. I would say my Spanish and Italian skills are not current, but I did live in Italy for a period of time. I lived in Roma, so.
Oh wow, that's
molto bene. Io sono Paolo. Io parlo italiano e español.
See, and they're very similar in a lot of ways as well.
Molto simile. Sì, io nato a Chicago, oggi abito a Las Vegas. So yeah, but very similar.
Yeah, I can actually understand Italian a lot better than I can speak it.
Same.
But I've been speaking French for a very long time, so I still get some things confused when I try to transition over. But my favorite city in France is actually very close to the Italian border. So
Wow.
Which city is that?
Nice.
That's your favorite?
Nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's like a 15-minute train ride to Monaco, and then maybe another 10 to Italy, maybe 10, 15.
Have you been to their big film festival in Nice, I believe?
Cannes is the closest.
Yes.
Yeah. I actually was just at the Palais des Festivals in Cannes. I went to their building, and I have photos like on my Instagram of me standing on the famous red steps and all that stuff. I had to do that, but yeah, I walked into their offices and I said, "Hi, I'm a filmmaker." I said in French, but je suis un cinéaste, and I said I'm going to have a film premiere here one day, and they said looking forward to it.
Wonderful. Je suis un cinéaste. Is that how you say it?
Un cinéaste.
Un cinéaste.
Yeah, je suis un cinéaste.
Je suis. Oh.
That's all you need to know when you go over there.
Je suis un cinéaste. Okay, I'm going to learn that.
And maybe fromage if you like cheese.
Ah, oui.
Say that again, Shaun. What's for cheese?
Oh, fromage.
Fromage.
Yeah, they actually have a cave of cheese, cave de fromage, in Nice. And you can go in there and dine with a bunch of cheese and wine. So I haven't done that yet, but I'm actually a vegan, so I don't eat cheese, but I'm sure a lot of people would.
What a wonderful idea. What do you think?
I was vegan until I went to Paris. So that lasted for about 6 hours. And then it was like, there's too much butter here. There's too much cheese. There's too much beef stew. So that ended very quickly. My 6 months of veganism ended within 6 hours of being in Paris.
But did you find that it tasted different over there than it would here? The dairy products?
Oh yeah, much different. It's maybe because they're all natural or not processed, or the eggs taste different. They taste probably like the way eggs should taste, I'm guessing. Yeah, I mean, I found it. I mean, the food was definitely delicious and wonderful in Paris, and I can't wait to get back because it is such an amazing city.
Yeah, it is.
Well, that sounds wonderful, and I'm gonna put that on my list too as well. Shaun, thank you. And Paul, I haven't been there yet, but I'd love to, because I do love cheese. Parmigiano cheese. I love Parmigiano.
So Italy.
Oh my gosh. I'd love to go there. I'd love to go to Italy. And I think if I went there, I would feel at home, because I think that's in my heart.
Well,
so,
I think, AJ, that we should be filming Film Talk with AJ Dean abroad, and hopefully Italy and France and anywhere else. I think time to take the show on the road.
I would love that. I love that. That's my dream. That's my dream, Paul.
Let's do that.
Yes, let's go to the casino and win a lot of money so that we can pay for those tickets.
Wonderful.
Oh my gosh, it's gone so fast, our show, and we're going to do heart messages. But before we do, I have one more question, then I'm going to send it over to Paul in case he has another question too. Shaun, you've been an absolute delight on our show. I want to thank you so much because you're absolutely beautiful in so many ways. But my question is this: who do you look up to, and who would you like to collaborate with?
Oh gosh, I try to think about the answer to that question from time to time, because there's so many people that I do, but for so many different reasons as well. I know I've been following Greta Gerwig's career for a long time, since she was acting before directing, and she was kind of like my independent cinema hero, if you will. So she's somebody that I definitely look up to because, she's made a lot of things happen. She went from being an actress to screenwriting and directing, and, she does it all. And that's the kind of person that I want to be in my career too. So I'll just single her out for now, but there's so many people.
Wow, amazing. Wonderful. And Paul, did you have any final questions for Shaun, our beautiful Shaun?
No, this is amazing. I guess my question is, would you meet me for a cup of coffee or a drink at one of these local establishments that are right around the corner.
We can just stroll on over to. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, IRL, which is going to be so weird, but yeah, I would love to share a cup of coffee or break bread with you. So that would be amazing.
For sure. And we have some Italian establishments nearby as well.
The one you mentioned earlier, I would, yeah, it's always difficult because they serve so much food that I feel like I don't even know if they have like lunch portions.
They do
for individuals.
Okay. That's the key. Go during lunch.
Got it. Okay, let's do that. That would be amazing. I could meet you there in literally 6 minutes, 7 minutes.
Yep.
7 minutes.
I'll somersault and I'll be there.
Amazing. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm going to be there in spirit as your chaperone. But I know you're going to have fun, and I'm so glad that you made this connection. We made this connection. And so when you get together, raise a glass at the Italian restaurant and cheers to me, okay? Promise?
100%.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. All righty, well, we're going to do our heart messages. We're going to go around to each individual of us here and as family, and we're going to share what our motto is or what we're feeling, this week, what message we want to share with the world, because that's what's important. It's about learning and growing. And so what I wanted to share, I'm going to start first. My heart message is I want to share with everybody, let's get back to a place like the Native Americans. Now, I'm not Native American, but Native Americans think all life is holy, and they have respect for all life, whether it's plants or trees, our Mother Earth, and of course, our animals and human beings. So I want to ask everyone to take a moment today, take a deep breath, and reflect on the holiness of life, because it really is beautiful, and we need to cherish that, and life is so important. So that's my heart message today, and thank you so much for listening to me. Paul, over to you for your heart message for this week.
Wonderful. Well, I think the theme, we've mentioned family, and I think when we work on projects like films, but even outside of that, is, as a family, we need to take care of each other, and safety first, precautions, looking out for each other. That whole thing, if you see something, say something. If something doesn't seem right, you'd rather, err on the side of caution and speak up. Let's keep each other safe, whether we're working on projects or just in life in general as a family. And let's continue to create these amazing products and collaborate. I still think collaboration is the key. And if anyone wants to reach out, I'm at paulvato.com, and you can find my book at vato.tv. So thank you, guys.
Thank you, Paul. So very well said. And we appreciate you so much. And you are family to us. And you're such a good guy. And yes, please subscribe and support Paul and follow him. He's a fantastic actor. And we love you, Paul.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And Shaun, over to you for your heart message for the world this week.
Oh, those messages are so beautiful. I also want to add that the new moon is tomorrow. So it's a great time to reflect and slow down and appreciate everything, especially the process that goes into anything, whether you're a creator or working towards some certain goal. I think just appreciating the process and not trying to get stressed out about the result, I think is very important. So I like that message also about collaboration, Paul, because I think as creatives, like sometimes people get caught up in being competitive rather than forming that family and those bonds and creating together, because we're all in it for a common goal, right? We all want our art to be out into the world, and we want people to see it. So I think collaboration is the way to get there. You can't do it by yourself.
Yes, absolutely. And so very wise words, Shaun. Thank you so much. And I've got, actually, speaking of the new moon, I've got my own little moon diary here. It's a cute little book I got from Amazon, but it says, talks about the phases of the moon, you know, and all of that. And I just want to say it's wonderful to have interesting things like that. Read up on, you know, keep learning, keep reading. You know, there's the Farmer's Almanac out there, which has got a lot of fun things as well if you like to garden and stuff. So keep learning, keep reading, and I love that. So happy new moon to you, Shaun, and happy new moon to you, Paul, and everyone out there. And thank you so much for a wonderful, wonderful show. And until we meet again, I don't have my fan, but I have my moon book. So I'm going to fan myself until we meet again.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it so much.
Thank you. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.